Dear friends, good morning to all. This is your RAPETI Suryanarayana advocate from Isaac. In the earlier sessions, I gave many lectures with regard to various topics. Such lectures are very useful to the practicing advocates and to the law students and also to the students who are appearing for judicial competitive and other competitive exams. And these lectures are also useful to the general public for legal awareness. In a simple manner, the lectures are useful for lawman and layman. In this session, I would like to give lecture with regard to very important topic. That topic is powers of courts to pass sentences. There are many courts are there in the state. All the courts are having same powers? No. The powers are differ from one court to another to pass sentence or punishment. Why? Because there are various kinds of courts in the state. Let us see what kinds of courts are having what type of powers to pass sentences against convicted persons. After deciding the cases or offences by such courts, let us see in this session. As per Criminal Procedure Code, in the state, which court is the highest one? High Court. High Court is the topmost court in the state. A High Court may pass any sentence authorized by law. High Court may pass any sentence authorized by law. That means whatever the sentence is permitted by the law, as per that law, the High Court have a power to pass such sentence. A High Court may pass any sentence authorized by law. I hope it is clear to all. Next one. What is the next to a High Court? Let us see. Session Judge or Additional Sessions Judge. Session Judge or Additional Session Judge. Just make it clear here. Sessions Judge or Additional Session Judge may pass any sentence authorized by law. That means Sessions Judge or Additional Session Judge may pass any sentence authorized by law. But a sentence of death passed by such session judge or additional session judge shall be subject to confirmation by the High Court. Once again, I will repeat this point. Sessions judge or additional session judge may pass any sentence authorized by law, but a sentence of death may pass by such session judge or additional session judge shall be subject to confirmation by the High Court. In a brief manner, if the session judge or additional session judge passes a death sentence, then such death sentence shall be confirmed by the High Court. Such death sentence shall be confirmed by the High Court. That means that death sentence shall be subject to confirmation by the High Court. I hope it is clear to all. That means here session judge and additional session judge, these two judges or kinds of judges are having same powers. Session judge and additional session judge, these two judges having the same powers to pass any sentence authorized by law, but a sentence of death shall be subject to confirmation by the High Court. A sentence of death which passes by such session judge or additional session judge shall be subject to confirmation by the High Court. I hope it is clear to all. First one I said about High Court. Second one I said about session judge or additional session judge. Next, let us go to the third one. What is the third one? Assistant session judge. Assistant session judge may pass any sentence authorized by law except a sentence of death or the imprisonment punishable for life or the imprisonment for a term exceeding 10 years. I hope it is clear to all. Once again I will repeat this point. Assistant session judge. I said earlier about session judge or additional session judge. Now I am saying about assistant. Assistant is different from additional. Assistant session judge may pass any sentence authorized by law except a sentence of death or of imprisonment for life or of imprisonment for a term exceeding 10 years. I hope it is clear. That means assistant session judge have power to pass a sentence of imprisonment for a term up to 10 years or less than 10 years. Exceeding 10 years, to this assistant session judge have no power. That means assistant session judge have power only up to 10 years of imprisonment. The assistant session judge have no power to pass a sentence of imprisonment exceeding 10 years of imprisonment or of imprisonment for life or of death sentence. I hope it is clear to know to you all. What I said about? I said about High Court. High Court may pass any sentence authorized by law. Next I said about session judge or additional session judge. Session judge or additional session judge may pass any sentence authorized by law. But there is a condition here. But a sentence of death which passed by such session judge or additional session judge shall be subject to confirmation by the High Court. Shall be subject to confirmation by High Court. With regard to which sentence? With regard to death sentence. With regard to death sentence, there should be a confirmation by the High Court. I hope it is clear. Next, assistant session judge. Assistant session judge may pass any sentence authorized by law, except, here condition, except a sentence of death or of imprisonment for life or of imprisonment for a term exceeding 10 years. That means exceeding 10 years imprisonment or life imprisonment or death sentence. Except these three sentences, remaining sentence, that is nothing but sentence of imprisonment for a term up to 10 years or less than 10 years. That sentence of imprisonment can be passed by the assistant session judge. I hope it is clear to all. Next, let us discuss about the court of a chief judicial magistrate. The court of a chief judicial magistrate. This court of a chief judicial magistrate may pass any sentence authorized by law, except, here also condition, except a sentence of death or of imprisonment for a term or of imprisonment for a life or of imprisonment for a term not exceeding 7 years. I hope it is clear to all. That means the court of a chief judicial magistrate may have a power to pass any sentence authorized by law, except a sentence of death or a sentence of imprisonment for life, or a sentence of imprisonment for a term exceeding 7 years. That means the Chief Judicial Magistrate, that means the court of a Chief Judicial Magistrate may pass any sentence of imprisonment up to 7 years or less than 7 years. I hope it is clear to all. Let us go to the next one. The court of a judicial magistrate of first class. The court of a judicial magistrate of first class may pass a sentence of imprisonment for a term of 3 years. The court of the judicial magistrate of first class may pass a sentence of imprisonment for a term up to 3 years, or a fine up to 10,000, or both. Once again I will repeat this point. The court of the magistrate of first class may pass a sentence of imprisonment not exceeding 3 years. That means up to 3 years or less than 3 years. Or the court of the judicial magistrate of first class may pass a fine up to 10,000 or less than 10,000. Or the court of the judicial magistrate of first class may pass both, that is, a sentence of imprisonment not exceeding 3 years and also fine up to 10,000 or less than 10,000. I hope it is clear to all. The court of the judicial magistrate of first class may pass a sentence of imprisonment not exceeding 3 years or a fine up to 10,000 or both, that is, imprisonment not exceeding 3 years and fine up to 10,000. I hope this is clear to you all. Let us go to the next one. The court of the magistrate of second class. The court of the magistrate of the second class. That is nothing but second class magistrate courts. The court of the magistrate of second class may pass a sentence of imprisonment not exceeding 1 year or fine up to 5,000 or of both. That means the court of a magistrate of second class may pass a sentence of imprisonment not exceeding 1 year. That means the second class magistrate courts may have power to pass a sentence up to 1 year or less than 1 year imprisonment. Or the court of the magistrate of second class have a power to impose a fine up to 5,000 or less than 5,000. Or the court of a magistrate of second class may also pass a sentence and find. That sentence may be up to 1 year or less than 1 year, and fine may be up to 5,000 or less than 5,000. That means here the court of a magistrate of second class have both the powers. It is the discretion of the court to pass any one of the sentence. Next one. One more important point I would like to bring before you all, that is, whatever the powers the Chief Judicial Magistrate Court have, that powers will be to the Chief Metropolitan Magistrate. I hope it is clear. The powers which are given to the Chief Judicial Magistrate Court, the same powers will be present to the Chief Metropolitan Magistrate Court. In the similar manner, whatever the powers are there to the court of a magistrate of first class, that powers will be same to the metropolitan magistrate courts. I hope it is clear to all. That means Chief Metropolitan Magistrate Courts having the same powers as the Chief Judicial Magistrate Courts. That means both the Chief Judicial Magistrate Courts and Chief Metropolitan Magistrate Courts are having same powers. In the like way, the court of a magistrate of first class and Metropolitan Magistrate Courts, these two courts are also having the same powers. First class magistrate courts and Metropolitan Magistrate Courts are having same powers. Chief Judicial Magistrate Courts and Chief Metropolitan Magistrate Courts are having the same powers. I hope it is clear to all with regard to sentences passes by various kinds of courts. This video is very important to the lawman and layman. Kindly share my videos, subscribe my channel, and also like my videos. Shall I repeat in a similar manner? High Court may pass any sentence authorized by law. Session Judge, Additional Session Judge may pass any sentence authorized by law. But a sentence of death which passed by such Session Judge, Additional Session Judge shall be subject to confirmation by the High Court. Next, Assistant Session Judge may pass any sentence authorized by law, except a sentence of death or of imprisonment for a life or of imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years. Next, the court of a Chief Judicial Magistrate or Chief Metropolitan Magistrate may pass any sentence authorized by law except a sentence of death or of imprisonment for life or of imprisonment not exceeding term of 7 years. Next, the magistrate of first class or metropolitan magistrate may pass a sentence of imprisonment up to 3 years, not exceeding 3 years. That means up to 3 years or less than 3 years, or fine up to 10,000 or both. Next, the magistrate of second class may pass a sentence of imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year. That means up to 1 year or less than 1 year, or fine up to 5,000 or both. These all with regard to sentences may pass by various kinds of criminal courts. Thank you a lot. Kindly like my videos, share my videos, subscribe my channel. Thanks a lot.